World said no one could survive a fall from the sky, but one girl did. 17-year-old Juliane Koepcke fell 10,000 feet from a plane that exploded mid-air and lived. It was Christmas Eve, 1971. 92 passengers boarded Lancer Flight 508 from Lima to Pucallpa, among them Juliane and her mother, Maria, traveling to meet Juliane's father in the Amazon. The takeoff was smooth. Below them, the Andes shimmered. But within minutes, dark clouds surrounded the aircraft. Lightning flashed. The turbulence grew violent. Passengers screamed. Then, a bolt of lightning struck the wing. A blinding flash. A violent explosion. The plane tore apart mid-air. Juliane, still strapped to her seat, felt the world disappear beneath her. The roar of wind, the spinning clouds, the green ocean of jungle rising fast. Hours later, Juliane opened her eyes. She was lying beneath the thick canopy of the Amazon rainforest, still strapped to a row of seats. Around her, silence. No voices, no engines, no rescue, just the hum of insects and the distant cry of birds. She realized she'd fallen from the sky and survived. For hours, she called for her mother. "Mama!" she shouted. No reply, only jungle sounds. Juliane found a small bag of candy, her only food. Her shoes were gone, her glasses cracked, but she remembered what her father once taught her. Follow water, water leads to people. So she began to move, through mud, thorns, vines. Each night she lay on the jungle floor, trembling, listening to the hiss of snakes and the rustle of unseen animals, but she refused to give up. Days blurred together. Juliane followed small streams that grew into larger creeks. She floated at times, conserving strength. The tropical sun scorched her back. Rain soaked her clothes. She saw wreckage, pieces of the plane, a few passengers still strapped in their seats. She realized the truth. She was the only one alive. On the fourth day, she heard buzzing. Nearby lay a cluster of bodies, victims of the crash, covered in flies. Among them, she thought she saw her mother. She knelt heartbroken, whispering a final goodbye. Then she moved on. By the 10th day, she was starving, weak. Her candy was gone. She could barely stand. Still, she followed the water. Then, she saw something man-made, a small hut. Inside the hut were a few tools and a boat. She collapsed nearby and waited. The next morning, 3 local loggers appeared. At first they were terrified, a pale, wounded girl emerging from the forest. But when Juliane spoke weakly in Spanish, they realized she needed help. They cleaned her wounds, fed her, and took her by canoe to a nearby village. From there, she was flown to a hospital, 11 days after falling from the sky. Doctors were astonished. Out of 92 passengers, Juliane Koepcke was the only survivor of Flight 508. Her story stunned the world. Scientists called it a miracle. Experts said it was impossible, but Juliane called it survival. Years later, she became a zoologist, dedicating her life to the rainforest that both nearly killed her and kept her alive. In interviews, she said softly, "It wasn't the fall that saved me. It was everything I learned from my parents and a will that refused to die." 17 years old, 11 days alone, 10,000 feet through a storm. The world remembers her as the girl who fell from the sky. But Juliane Koepcke will always be something more. The girl who refused to fall apart.